and super excited for you to be here with me today. We're on a 5-day rotating schedule, and today is lead generation. Having a lot of really interesting coaching calls, both with agents who are clients that are coaching with me and with agents who are part of Dietz and Dietz Real Estate Consultants. And there's an interesting, not good, but interesting trend with everybody that I'm speaking to. I'm hearing lots of this is what's going on, this is what I'm doing, but I'm not hearing a lot of focused attention on lead generation. And I just know for a fact that it's the most important thing we do in any market. It's definitely the most important thing we do in this market. Now, there's a lot of reasons why you may not be actively engaged in lead generation at the level that you know you should. And maybe one of those reasons is because you're afraid of making calls, or you're not sure what to say, or you're not getting the results you want, and therefore you're giving up. So I want you to hear just a short portion of The Millionaire Real Estate Agent that I'm going to read to you on page 135, and I just highlighted one paragraph. Pay really close attention to what it said here. High conversion rates will allow you to generate the same income from fewer leads than if you had lower conversion rates. Okay, that makes sense. If you're converting 1 out of 4 calls to an appointment, and your goal is to schedule 2 appointments for the day, then you only need to have 8 conversations. Simple enough. However, what if you're converting 1 out of 20 calls to a conversation? Does that mean that you're going to have less success, inferior results? The answer is not necessarily. I think the answer is really up to you. Lower conversion rates can be just as effective if you can amass a great number of leads. So while your conversion rates are very important, the number of leads you must generate is even more critical. All right, let's define a lead. A lead is somebody that you've got a name, a phone number, an email address, and a mailing address. You're prospecting, your circle prospecting, and you call somebody. Hi, this is John Dietz with XYZ Real Estate Company. The reason for my call today is your neighbor's home just down the street from you just sold, which is great news. And we have buyers that are looking for great homes like yours. Who do you know that might be thinking of selling their home in the next 6 months? All right, I have a contact, but I don't have a lead. It becomes a lead when I've got a name, email address, phone number I've got because I'm on the phone with them, and maybe the mailing address I've got because I've used a service like Vulcan 7, which downloaded the entire neighborhood for me. But I don't have a lead until I have name, phone number, email address, and home address. Now, what he said again is while your conversion rates are very important, the number of leads you must generate is even more critical. So first question, and I'm going to state this as if you're asking yourself this question. I want you to write it down. How many leads do I need in order to hit my goals? How many leads do I need in order to close 24 homes in the next 12 months? How many leads do I need in order to list 3 homes this month? And do you know the answer to that? Chances are no, you don't. How do you discover the answer to that? Track everything. Track everything over time. And over time, you'll start to see trends. You'll know that you need to talk to X number of people in order to schedule 2 appointments every day. I know what my numbers are because I've been tracking this for 20 years. Now, it's different for me today as a trainer, coach, and recruiter than it was when I was lead generating for listings, but there's still a trend. I know exactly how many people I need to speak to in order to get the number of appointments that I need. By the way, I know how many appointments I need with follow-up in order to attract the number of agents that I want to attract to my team. So all I do is show up every day and just plug and go. It's actually pretty simple. Success is simple. Write that down. It's also boring. Write that down. Now, when success gets boring, what do you guys normally do? You start changing the model. You start adding in creativity. And then you hear things like, I'm in a slump. Okay, why are you in a slump? Well, I stopped doing the things that were getting the results that I was getting in the past. And that leads to, maybe I need to get back to basics. And my answer to that is, why did you ever leave them? Yes, get back to the basics. All right, he goes on to say, the octane of your fuel is irrelevant if you don't have enough to get you to your destination. No matter how good your leads are, it doesn't matter if you don't have enough in order to get to your destination. So there's this chart on page 138, here it is, that gives you all of these different options that you can use for lead generating. Now, it's interesting because the book was written in 2003 and like advertising in newspapers is one of the options. Obviously, you're not going to do that. All right. However, it's still a great list to go from and decide, okay, what are the 3 or 4 things that I am going to focus on? Because you're not going to do everything on the list. Find 3 or 4 that work for you. Master those 3 or 4 and stay focused on those 3 or 4 sources of lead generation every day in order to create more leads in order to get to the destination that you want to arrive at. Now, under telemarketing or prospecting or cold calling, whatever you want to call it, he's got in here for sell by owners, expireds. Absolutely. We've been doing that since the beginning of real estate. And should you do that? It depends. Is that one of your things? If your answer is heck no, I don't want to call for sell by owners and expireds, then my answer is don't call them. Find another way to get to the destination. Now, if you're still not arriving at the destination, go back to the question, should you call for sell by owners and expireds? If the reason you're not calling them is because it makes you uncomfortable, you don't like it, then is it possible that in order to get to better, you have to get to different? In order to get to better, you have to be willing to be uncomfortable in order to get to your goal that you want to achieve. Nobody wakes up in the morning and says, super excited to get to the gym this morning at 5 a.m. and start working out. Can't wait, let's go. But you love the results. Is it possible that lead generating for sell by owners and expireds might be your version of going to the gym and working out in order to get the results that you want? Just saying. Maybe right, maybe wrong. Only you is going to know the answer. All right, just listed, past clients, allied resources. So are you calling allied resources? Are you calling people that you are in business partnership with? Do you have a business to business referral group that you are a part of, like BNI? If you're not, and the realtor spot in your local BNI group is already filled, what could you do? Well, start your own group. Start your own referral network and meet with a group of like-minded professionals, attorneys, home inspectors, CPAs, everybody who's in business in the local market in order to do business-to-business networking and business-to-business referrals. We had a real estate agent in our Coral Springs office. This is all he did. He did it 5 days a week in 5 different locations. And within a short period of time, he was doing $15 to $20 million a year in business, 100% through networking groups. Can you do that? All right. Another one of the sources that he gives us is banks, builders, attorneys. And if I'm taking a moment to read this, just look close. I marked it up so much I can't even read it anymore. So are you speaking with probate attorneys? What would that do for you? Well, what do probate attorneys do? Is it possible that a probate attorney would be able to would be a great referral source for you for people who need to sell a home, for a family member who's passed away, the property is in probate, and it's going to need to go on the market at some time? Is it possible the attorney knows about that opportunity before you do? Yes, it is. Divorce attorneys, do they know that somebody is going to sell their home before you do? Yeah, they do. Do you have relationships with divorce attorneys in order to generate seller leads? I could go on and on and on, but I want you guys to think outside the box. I want you to get outside the normal, this is what we do to lead generate in real estate. And I want you to start thinking of other things that you can do that you're currently not doing. The question that I ask over and over again is what's the one thing that I can do that I'm currently not doing that if I were to do it would move me closer to my goal? Answer that question and go do it. All right, face-to-face, he puts in here Allied Resources. Are you meeting for coffee with your Allied Resources? If you're not, you should. It's not all real estate. Talk family, talk occupation, talk recreation, talk dreams. Another word, Ford. Ask them how their business is doing. Ask if you can give them a referral. If you could, specifically, what are they looking for? And what's the best way to refer business to them? It gives you an opportunity to respond with, here's what I'm looking for. Buyer and seller leads are always awesome. Somebody wants to buy a home, sell a home, I want to talk to them. However, right now, especially right now, I'm looking for seller leads, and here's why. Because there's a shortage of inventory on the market. We have more buyers than we do sellers, and we need seller leads. Are you asking? If you're not asking, you're not going to get. Door-to-door canvassing, open houses, client parties, events. There are real estate agents who are doing client parties and events, and that's their main source of real estate leads. Maybe that's all they do. You're in a community where you have a lot of families, you have a lot of children, and you want to do an event just for the community. Okay. Bring in a food truck in the morning. Summertime is great. Kids are not on their way to school. Bring in a food truck in the morning that serves coffee and donuts. Announce it to everybody in the neighborhood. Throw a block party and invite everybody over for coffee and donuts. Just an idea, okay? If you're not doing it, maybe you could start. Seminars. Teaching and speaking. Holy cow, what a great opportunity for you to lead generate. One of the reasons that I love teaching and training from the stage is because it gives me an opportunity to share what I do and to attract talent. Over the past 20 years, I've hired hundreds. Let's just go with that. A lot of real estate agents through training and teaching from a stage. Okay, direct mail. IVR is something that doesn't get talked about very much, and I think there's still a great opportunity for this here. On your signs, do you have a way for buyers who could be driving by or neighbors to call for more information on the property? Better than calling you or having your cell phone number on the sign, which is great, you should, but better than that, for more information on this property, dial blank. And it's a recorded message on that property, or it's a text message, dropping them a flyer on the message and everything on their phone and giving them all the information that they need to know about that property. And what's best about that is you're also going to get a notification like that. It's going to tell you, so-and-so just asked for more information on your listing at 123 Main Street. You have an opportunity to call them. Hi, this is blank with blank real estate company. I noticed that you asked for more information on my property at 123 Main Street. This is a courtesy call just to see if you got the information you were looking for. Are there any questions that I can answer for you? Are you in the market to buy a home right now? Have you ever worked with a buyer's agent? I'm a buyer's agent. I work a little bit different than other real estate agents do. I work specifically for the buyer. Here's what that looks like. Now, in order for me to know if I'm the right real estate agent for you, in order for me to know what you're looking for, so I can work as your personal shopper and find the right property for you, we need to meet. We can meet in my office tonight, and it'll only take about 30 minutes. I need to ask 10 or 12 questions, and I would be thrilled to go to work for you. All right. Holy cow, that's a lot of information, and I'm going to stop there. Did you hear anything new? Do you have a little bit of a different perspective on lead generation? Do you have a clearer vision on what you need to do in order to get to the finish line? And the finish line doesn't mean you stopped. It's just you hit your goal for the week, for the month, for the year, not forever. And I know there's things that you do that are working at a super high level that I didn't mention, right? Like Beth Shadler's right in front of me, and she's a rock star on YouTube. I didn't mention YouTube. Holy cow. If you're not using YouTube, you absolutely should. Let me give you one tip on YouTube, and then that's going to be a wrap. Create a YouTube page that's about a destination or a location and where you work versus your name. How many people are on Google are going to get on Google and search John Dietz? They're just not. But are people going to get on Google and search Gulf Coast homes for sale, living on the Gulf Coast of Florida? Sorry. My bearded dragon just takes dives off the platform and lands on his back. It's hilarious. They will search beachfront living. All right. Talk to me.